I've just finished my first year studying economics at the University of Cambridge, and I've managed to walk away from this year with a first. The whole Cambridge experience has been so amazing and so enjoyable. New friends, new city, new experiences, and almost a new way of life. But all that being said, there were some points where it was challenging and almost overwhelming. There were certain times during the year where I felt almost swallowed up by my work, a feeling which, to be totally honest, I'd never really felt before. Even throughout my time revising and studying for my GCSEs and A-levels, I always felt as if I was in control of my work. Whereas sometimes this year, I almost felt as if my work was in control of me. People sometimes say that at Cambridge you're faced with a trilemma between sleep, good grades and a social life. I.e., you can only ever achieve two of these three things. And I foolishly believed that this trilemma existed at points throughout the year. But somehow I managed to emerge with all three. And in this video, I'm going to tell you how I did it. Now, the first big thing which enabled me to be both academically successful and also successful outside of my work was a fundamental shift in my mindset. And this fundamental shift was a shift from seeing work as a need to seeing work as a want. Looking back at my year, the times where I felt most bogged down and most engrossed by my work were the times when I wasn't actually enjoying the work I was doing. For instance, when I had to plan and write my essays for the British Economic History paper, and I'd sit down in the morning and just look at this massive reading list, which I know would take me the whole day to read and plan. And I'd look at this and my energy would just drain so much, because I just looked at this and think, I need to do this. I looked at it like it was a chore. And as I'd sit there and scan these readings, taking notes, I realised I really wasn't enjoying it. But the reason I wasn't enjoying it is because I was viewing it as a chore rather than something that I wanted to do. Genuinely, all it took was an intentional mindset shift to go from this is work I need to do to the fact that this is work that is actually really interesting and I want to do. At the end of the day, I really do enjoy studying my subject. I worked hard through A-levels and GCSEs to be in a position I am in right now, so there's no reason for me to get in my own head and view this work as something that I need to do rather than something that I want to do. Now, this mindset shift made studying so much more enjoyable and also made it so much less draining. When I started seeing my studies as something I wanted to do, information that I wanted to acquire, two main things changed. Number one, my productivity skyrocketed. When you actively want to sit down and do the work, you get so much more from it. I started to get so much more from every lecture I attended, every book I read, and every question I attempted. And I definitely encourage you to try this. I'm sure you've experienced it if you're at uni, when there's some point when you're in that lecture hall and you just sat there thinking, I've got so much to learn, there's so much information in this lecture which I need to get in my head. But if you just change that mindset, start actively listening, actively participating in the lecture, and view the things you're learning as the interesting things that they really are. And suddenly you want to go to lectures, rather than lectures just being a chore which you go to and passively sit in. Now, not only did my productivity skyrocket, the second big thing was that my energy skyrocketed. I would now walk away from lectures feeling fulfilled and interested. I'd actively want to go back to my room or go back to the library to consolidate what I've just learned, rather than just viewing that as a chore I'd had to do after my lectures. Just want to put in a quick side note here. I don't want you to think that I was some sort of academic machine after I made this mindset change. Yes, it was so helpful, but I still fell into the traps of thinking, this work is so long, this work is so boring, I don't really want to do this studying. Because it's natural, but being able to recognise when I fell into those states and being able to get out of them really improved my ability to do well in the first year of uni. And now this increased productivity and this increased energy had such great knock-on effects. It meant that I got so much more out of my work per unit of time I put in, and it also meant that I had the energy to do other things outside of my work. For instance, I had the time and energy to do things like sports, social events, societies, etc. What really helped me, A, get more from my work, B, enjoy the work I was actually doing, and C, have time and energy to do the other things I wanted to do at university, was having this mindset shift from seeing work as a need to actually seeing work as something I wanted to do. Now, the second big thing which helped me achieve a first this year, while still having fun outside of my studies, was being intentional with my time. And what I mean by being intentional with my time was cutting out things that I refer to as wasted time. What do I mean when I say wasted time? For me, I define it as when I look back at my day in the evening or just before I'm going to bed, any time where I look back and think, I wish I didn't do that, I wish I hadn't done that. Personally, wasted time usually was time I spent sitting on my bed or sitting at my desk just mindlessly scrolling social media. Now, I'm not trying to say that social media inherently is wasted time. Just for me, it personally was, because I look back at the end of the day and think, I wish I did something else during that time. It didn't really add anything to the value of my day. For some people, they like doing that, but for me, I just knew it wouldn't make me happy in the long run. But I guess at times, bounded rationality just got the best of me. But the big negative effect wasted time had on my day is that it meant I was more pressed for time for the things I actually wanted to do, the things that actually delivered me true happiness. For instance, studying, social events, sports, etc. Now there are a couple of direct solutions to deal with this wasted time. One direct solution is just deleting some social medias. For instance, I no longer have TikTok because I just wasted so much time on there when I had it. But I get that this isn't always practical, and social media isn't inherently bad. So the big thing which helped me out in the long run was planning and scheduling my days. And this planning and scheduling of my days ultimately stemmed from being really intentional with my time. The planning and scheduling made it so much easier to be in a place where each part of my day I was doing something I actually wanted to do, something that delivered me value, happiness or joy. And don't get me wrong, I scheduled in downtime, chill time in my calendar, but this chill time consisted of things that actually would deliver me happiness, things that lifted me up in the long run. For instance, going to the college bar with some mates, going on a walk with my girlfriend, etc. Things that were still chill and relaxing, but actually made me happy in the long run. So by time blocking and by scheduling my day, it just limited the opportunities I had to waste time. And this meant that I did more of the things which truly mattered to me, which enabled me to be successful with my studies while still having fun. Again, I don't want you to think that I was this perfect person throughout my year who never got distracted by their phone or social media. In fact, as I'm planning this video, I'm literally getting distracted by my phone, but being able to recognize that and trying to limit it as much as possible was just the big thing. It wasn't about being perfect, it was just about being better. Now moving on to the third thing, which I think was so important for me achieving good grades this year while still having fun, was my sleep. So many people underestimate the importance of sleep to their success in university and school, as well as just their general quality of life. Now I definitely had periods of poor sleep throughout my time at Cambridge this year. And it wasn't until I started getting into a semi-decent sleep pattern during Easter term where I really saw the benefits. Now for me, I saw 3 big things which having a good sleep schedule and a good amount of sleep really did for me. The first thing was lifting my energy levels. Now it's such a basic point which everyone knows, but good sleep means you have more energy in the day. Now this was great for both learning and also extracurricular things which I liked doing. Now the next big thing was the prevention of illness. Poor sleep definitely contributed to periods of illness I had throughout my time this year at Cambridge. Now illness has a very direct effect on your ability to do well during your time at university. Throughout Lent term, which is my second term, I missed something like 20 lectures directly due to illness. It means having good sleep just limits stuff like this, these shocks, which will negatively affect your ability to have fun and your ability to do well academically. And finally, the effect sleep has on my ability to plan and schedule, as I said for point 2. Planning and scheduling your days is so great, but it is dependent on the fact you're going to wake up at a certain time and go to sleep at a certain time, which ultimately stems from having a good sleep routine and having a good sleep in general. Obviously, you can't plan to do something at 9 AM or 8 AM if you can't guarantee you're going to be up at that point. So having good sleep also meant that I could do good planning and good scheduling for my days. And there it is. Those are the 3 big things which I believe enabled me to achieve a first this year while still having fun, while still making friends, while still doing my hobbies. I hope you found this enjoyable, useful and helpful, and hopefully you can incorporate some of these strategies into your university studies. As always, thank you for watching and I'll see you soon.